Have you ever been working on something incredibly important? Maybe editing a video, writing a piece of music, or finishing a project you spent months on, and suddenly the screen just goes black. Your power cuts out, total darkness. In that exact split seconds, what's the first thing you lose? It's not just the electricity, it's your momentum, it's your direction. For a few seconds, you are completely paralyzed because you literally cannot see the next step in front of you. Most of us think that losing our direction in life happens like a sudden power outage. We think we just wake up one day and realize we are lost. But the truth is much more dangerous. The real blindness doesn't happen all at once. It happens in micro steps. It's like a slow dimmer switch being turned down so gradually that you don't even notice the room has gone completely dark until you trip over the furniture. Today, we are talking about a concept inspired by a timeless warning found in a couple of text logs I was looking through, specifically regarding the classic story of Samson. But we aren't just telling an old story, we are talking about your vision, your focus, and the invisible traps that cause us to lose our spiritual and mental sight without even realizing it. If you have been feeling stuck, distracted, or like you are slipping into habits you swore you'd leave behind, this video is for you. Let's look at how this plays out in real life. If you study history or even look at the famous narrative of Samson, you notice something fascinating. Samson didn't just lose his strength because his enemies overwhelmed him with numbers. No, he didn't lose his sight because he was beaten in an open fair battle. No, he lost it because he let his guard down in a place he felt safe. He was studied, his weakness were analyzed like an algorithm, tracking user data. Think about how modern social media or trading platforms work. The algorithm doesn't force you to watch a 3-hour video you hate. It studies your small habits. It notices you linger on a specific post for 3 seconds longer than usual. It notes your vulnerability when you are bored at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. and then very densely it serves you more of exactly that. That is exactly what happened to the strongest man in ancient history, as detailed. The opposition didn't strike immediately. They studied his pattern. They realized he had a specific blind spot, a lustful, undisciplined desire. They used Delilah to test his boundaries, step by step, inch by inch, until he willingly handed over the secret of his purpose. And look at the ultimate consequence. The text notes a devastating progression. The Philistines captured him, plucked out his eyes, and imprisoned him to grind away at a mill. The man who could destroy armies with a jawbone was now entirely dependent on a young child just to guide his steps so he wouldn't trip over a rock. That is what happens when we toy with things we know compromise our character. But compromise doesn't want to play a game with you. It wants your perspective. People who toy with these compromises are in grave danger of losing their sights. But what does losing your sight actually look like today? It looks like rationalization. When you start losing your internal compass, you begin rewriting the rules to justify where you are standing. A person who has lost their spiritual sight might look right at clear ethical or spiritual boundaries and say, well, times have changed, or even misquote principles to justify their own blindness. By justifying small compromises, living a double life, showing up one way online in public, living differently in private, blaming others for the consequences of their own choices. Think about it. Are you living in a way where you have to hide certain parts of your life from the people who care about you? Are you showing up like a dedicated, focused person on the outside while secretly allowing habits to follow you out on the inside? When you lose your sight, you lose the ability to see the long-term consequences of your current actions. Come blind to the fact that the small traps you are playing with today is preparing a prison for you tomorrow. Stop seeing how close you can walk to the edge without falling off. If a specific environment, platform, or relationship constantly clouds your judgment,